kind of wrote there. These guys.
Yeah.
Ethnic and immigrant communities in New York. And the second question, the New York City restored the original road diet for McGinnis Boulevard.
About leaving, did you speak to her yesterday? And can you just go into a little bit more detail about what you mean the disrespect that she received in the last couple of days? And you mentioned earlier that there's 300,000 city employees, but they aren't appointed by you. They don't run city agencies. And so in any normal administration, seeing so many people leave in 1 month separate from the federal investigations would raise red flags. I'm wondering why that is not something that you don't see, or something that you're not understanding from the outside looking in.
Okay, first of all, I'm not going into my conversation with Sheena. Again, I say this over and over again. People enjoy it virtually, and she has guided me through all sorts of things. And, she didn't bring me here to be the mayor to abandon me. What's happening?
Good, how are you? So with this restructuring
I think whenever I'm going through a major difference in my life, I go back and say, okay, how are you eating? How are you exercising? How are you breathing? How are you meditating? Because, when you're not going through stuff, you can live
sort of invisible, right? There's no officers listed, there's no campaign website, we don't see any sort of online fundraising, it almost seems invisible. So one looking from arm's length might think maybe you're not really running for re-election.
Well, first, my methodology is you don't spend too early. I have a great
amount of resignations in recent weeks.
Why is that? With 300,000 people, you think that's a staggering amount? It's like the ability. Some people are departing because they want to do something else with their lives. I think that there's nothing wrong with that. And some people we thought was not a good fit. So there's a combination. But the goal is don't remain. Not only is she a great leader, she's a great human being. She's not going to tolerate the mistreatment of those who are in like this. People will see.
Obviously, first deputy mayor coming in is an opportunity. And then second to that, we've seen a ton of resignations. Can you confidently say that we've seen the end of high profile or larger resignations in the administration, or could there be more to come?
Yeah, and I think it's very important, 3.8 million people, 8.3 million people, 35 million opinions, like when people come to me and say, Jeff Reagan is a shit around, and that is what we're hoping for. We've got a one-sided view of this, extremely creative, and I think my attorneys are going to show both sides. I'm going to do my job as the mayor, and the people of the city is going to determine who's going to be the next mayor. And if support comes, because as it sees now, more and more people are coming and say, you know what, I really dug into this, I really read this, like his irony, that someone alluded to the other day. This is vintage Eric. This is to someone like yourself and a few others in this room. All you're saying is we don't expect anything different from Eric Adams.
Hey, Mr. Mayor,
how are you?
Good, good. A couple of questions for you. Last week, federal prosecutors said in your hearing that there was a City Hall staffer who carried a message from you to straw donors saying that they should not tell the truth to the FBI. And fast forward today, Mohammed Bahi was charged with those, I think it was witness tampering and other charges. The first question is, did you tell Mohammed Bahi at all to communicate to straw donors that they should not tell the truth to federal investigators? And the second question is, if you do get charged in either a superseding indictment or just a separate set of charges by the federal government, in addition to what you already have, are you worried that the support that you do have from people like Al Sharpton or Governor Kathy Hochul, are you worried that will go away?
One, I'm going back to that, I think the question was asked over here. I would never instruct anyone to do anything illegal or improper. I have one saying, and people that know me, they will tell you, Eric's been saying this for years, follow the law. Always follow the law. That's why there's a level of comfort that I have, because I know I
follow the law.
In 84, 85, 86, rookie cop, rookie, standing up, saying we need to treat people.
As a police captain, are you kind of revisiting that in a way of putting the criminal justice system and trying to make it accountable by fighting this defense of vociferously? And the second question I have is, this could be as part of a radio network. One thing we're dealing with is the failure of broadcast radio around the United States to be able to provide accurate information in the event of a lien. And we're seeing right-wing radio describe and sabotage the effort of the FEMA to get information to people and letting them know that this is functioning well. We have an affiliate in Asheville, part of Pacific, that is informing that the federal government is functioning well and meeting the challenge. And yet what we're hearing, unfortunately, is a distortion sometimes by the right-wing Christian nationalist radio. And how is important is accurate information at a time of crisis, which you know so much about.
No, so no, accurate information is crucial. We're seeing that play out across the entire country, and the stations, these nonprofits, these stations are providing such vital down, and we in clear communications on how do we continue to staff up, how do we get focus again, be focused, because there's a lot going on, and that is the role that they're going to.
Thank you. The first question is, there are 300,000 people who work for the city of New York, yes. Obviously. There have been 10 departures, yes. Right? And you have been projecting strength and leadership and focus in this season of crisis for City Hall. What would you say to New Yorkers who might require a softer, more conciliatory tone, saying, yes, this is happening in response to this, and maybe any type of acknowledgement of that, right? So not, there's some, different people need different things. Yeah. Different people need to hear different things. Right. Mm-hmm. So what would you say to New Yorkers who might not need to hear something other than the focus and the strength in light of what's happening in the culture right now? And then secondly, with this opportunity to rebuild your team with these 10 vacant positions, what does that look like? Is that a huddle? Is that a retreat?
Right now, I have to run the city.
Hi, Mr. Mayor.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good, good.
Some of your top aides who have recently resigned served in newly created roles, such as Tim Pearson's role as Senior Advisor for Public Safety and Phil Banks' role of Deputy Mayor for Public Safety, a role that hadn't existed for several decades. To that point, because these roles were created for specific people, do you plan to replace them and fill them again?
Yes, I definitely need a Deputy Mayor of Public Safety, and I received 6 calls from people who are outside of government who asked, could they,
I wanted to ask you about the poll numbers. They were really bad, and I'm curious, do you see a path to re-election at this point, and how disappointing is that, considering that David Dinkins did not get a second term? How disappointing is it to you that there might not be a path to re-election when David Dinkins did not get a second term?
Yeah, first of all, I'm here to serve now, and I say over and over again, people often talk about what happens next. Tomorrow's not promised to any of us. So the question is what do you do in the present? And I'm present right now to serve the people of this city every day, all day, and I love the job of being a mayor and providing for New Yorkers. Many people don't recall, because follow the law is my #1 instruction that I give people. Anything other than that, I don't give people illegal information.
Jay.
Good afternoon, Mayor.
Sorry, Jay.
How are you?
Good.
I want to piggybacking off of Marcia's first question. You've talked in the past about perception, especially when dealing with subway crime, the numbers coming down, but dealing with the perception that is out there among your constituents. So what do you say to the New Yorkers who are watching all of these resignations, and they're wondering whether or not your administration can continue to serve them on a daily basis, whether or not you'll become distracted? What do you say to the New Yorkers who are watching all of this unfold day to day?
First of all, when you look at it, I'm really blown away that we're saying all of these resignations. I have 300-something thousand employees. I have a ton of commissioners. I spoke with Commissioner Zach Iskel the other day. We had a great conversation, and he's talking about the work that we want to continue to do. I sat down next to Commissioner Tisch, and we talked about our impressive rollout and the revenue.
Thanks. Two questions. On Maria Torres Springer's elevation, is it correct that the governor signed off on her elevation, and is that sort of standard practice? Is it correct that the governor signed off on her being elevated to first deputy mayor, and is that sort of standard practice going forward for personnel changes to get the governor's approval? And then also just on Mohammed Bahi, in the indictment, it says that Bahi told one of these alleged straw donors that you believed that the donor would not cooperate. Can you just explain what that means, that you believed there wouldn't be cooperation?
Well, first let's deal with the elevation. I'm the mayor. I don't get sign off from other entities to make movement within the department or the agencies. And so I'm not sure where that question came from. You know, did someone tell you that the government has to sign off on our...
Someone told me that, and I think it's been fairly widely reported recently that the governor has been involved.
And you know if it's reported, it has to be accurate. Listen, I don't get authorizations to move around personnel. Matter of fact, to the contrary, the governor made it clear that you're the mayor of the city. You have an obligation to continue the success that we have done together. The governor and I have been extremely successful together. She's a part.
Today, it has to do with falsifying evidence and dealing with a straw donor situation.
Mohammed Bahi was one of the top Muslim liaisons even before joining the mayor's office. I always found him to be thoughtful, always found him to be willing to go into all the communities. But what he has done to really bring down the noise in some of the conflicts that we're seeing today, I think the record will speak loudly for what he has committed. But he has attorneys. Let his attorneys handle his case. And just as, you know, attorneys should do that for any individual that's in contact with law enforcement. His attorney can speak for his case. I know he delivered for New Yorkers, and I thank you for it.
What does that mean for your administration? So, I mean, there's just another charge of somebody else involved in what appears to be malfeasance, this time with donations to your 2021 national campaign.
I think it means that we have to continue to do what I said do, and that's stay focused and run the city the way we have successfully done for 2 years and 10 months. The courtroom will deal with the cases. I must deal with the case of affordable housing, educating our children, keeping our city safe, together to deliver for New Yorkers. Maria has more than 2 decades of experiences leading multiple city agencies and executing on one of the most successful housing and economic development agendas in the city's history. She has delivered for our city over and over again. She's a proud New Yorker and a proud public servant, just being able to serve this city. She loves the work that she's doing, and she brings in that energy every day. And one of the first tasks I have assigned Maria to do is to conduct an immediate review of personnel, programs, and policies in conjunction with. What's interesting, as we, when we make these moves, we ask the peers on who they would like to be in a leadership to lead them, and it was fascinating how all the fellow
Thank you. The music's back. Oh, guys, everything's better. The music's back. Music's back. Focus, not guilty. Those who live in New York and those who wish they could.
Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry for the 12 o'clock stop. We set at 11:30. We had a great opportunity to show the amazing numbers that the team is doing over at the NYPD, and it's a cornerstone of my role as the mayor is to keep this city safe, and we're going to continue to do that. And as I indicated last week, while a lot of your questions remain focused on the investigation, I want the team focused on moving the city forward. And once we sort of normalize these questions, we'll bring back all of the deputy mayors so they can answer the questions in their portfolio. But it is crucial to me that that hour. That's not me. I look literally have a brain that she's 12 years younger.